From clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat. You got, a little more wager into the game. It means more to you. So, yeah, you definitely get rooting for it. Everybody bets. Everybody bets now? Yeah, it's easy. It makes it more exciting to watch a game.
Nowadays, gamblers aren't hard to find.
I think anecdotally around people it's become legitimized, it's legal, and people are talking about their bets.
There's just been an absolute proliferation of gambling. It is the norm.
But with the popularity comes a problem.
Do you think this is a public health crisis?
It's not a crisis yet, but it's going to be one.
There's no slurred speech. There's no, hard marks on the arms. No, roulette eyes or spice breath.
And those problems include the only resource to help problem gamblers.
We're doing the best that we can.
Betting on sports is nothing new, but for decades, it was something that was under the table, taboo, just something people did not talk about. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Lisa Bell. That all changed in 2018 when the Supreme Court struck down the Professional Sports and Amateur Protection Act that barred sports betting in every state except Nevada. The ruling gave states the green light to decide if and how they would legalize it.
Yeah, in Florida, that legalization finally came in April of 2021 when Governor Ron DeSantis and the Seminoles signed a gambling compact allowing the tribe to begin offering sports betting across the state.
In October of 2023, after years of legal challenges, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected a challenge to the compact, trying to block online sports betting. 2 months later, Hard Rock Bet went live for anyone 21 and up to download. Now, 1 year in, how has the app been received and what impact has it had on the state?
Yeah, News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth had those very same questions and went looking for some answers. Justin.
Absolutely, and what I found, Ginger and Lisa, was surprising, and quite frankly, it was a little troubling as well. Full transparency, I use the Hard Rock app. My friends use the app. Others here at News 6 do as well. It is officially part of sports culture right now, but I wanted to know just how many people do too. So I went outside the Kia Center before a Magic game, and it's pretty easy to find people looking to make the game a little bit more interesting. Are we betting on tonight's game?
Yeah, we are.
What do you got?
Who do you think we got? Come on.
Probably.
Yeah, obviously the Magic.
Fellas, we betting tonight? Got a bet on?
Yeah.
What do you got?
So I got Orlando money line, and then Wagner, 15 plus points.
Yeah, it didn't take long either. Online gambling has just exploded in popularity across the country over the last decade. Last year, Americans wagered more than $142 billion, and that is a huge jump from just the $5 billion that they bet in 2017. One of the biggest drivers, the expansion of online sports betting, letting fans put real money on the line with just a few taps on an app. And in Florida, there is just one option for bettors, the Hard Rock Bet app. What's unclear is just how many Floridians use the app and how much money they've shelled out. The Seminole tribe hasn't released those numbers. But what is clear, at least to some people, is the legalization of online gambling in Florida hasn't been a win-win for everyone.
Do you think this is a public health crisis?
It's not a crisis yet, but it's going to be one.
All right, boys, who we betting on?
The commercials are everywhere. You see them, those familiar faces, placing bets, winning big.
The advertising is very difficult to avoid.
It's the alcoholic being in a bar. It's the same analogy.
And if you look closely, you'll also see the phone number 888-ADMIT-IT at the end of every Hard Rock commercial. That number is for the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling. It's the state's only helpline, and it connects problem gamblers with services and resources 24/7. Jennifer Cruz is the executive director.
The majority of people that gamble do so safely, recreationally. They don't develop a problem. But when they do, it can cause a lot of problems.
Since the Hard Rock app went live a little bit more than a year ago, calls for those problems have skyrocketed. In fact, in 2024, the first full calendar year the app's been available to Floridians, roughly 63,000 people reached out for help. That is nearly double the volume from the year before. The center also keeps track of just who is placing the calls for help, and about half are men in their 20s.
Yeah, so that's the newest.
Dr. Keith Buckley teaches international business at Rollins College.
It's definitely normalized, and what we're seeing is this young men, it's a social activity. They're gambling between themselves using the app and the various of different games you can play. You don't know what high schools are doing, I don't know what colleges are doing in teaching about this. but it needs to be addressed because it is going to be an issue.
That's also where the council comes in. Aside from operating the call center, they do outreach and education in the community, and they start with young kids.
I mean, we're talking about, this was what, elementary, middle?
This is elementary.
They start early.
Yep.
Why?
Because prevention. It's all about prevention, having the conversations and explaining that, yes, gambling is normalized, but there is a risk that's associated with it.
Given how easy it is to place a bet in today's online world, Cruz isn't surprised to see more people getting hooked.
There's a basic formula for risk. It's accessibility plus acceptability equals an increased vulnerability to problem gambling. So, the more acceptable and accessible an activity is, the more likely there is a chance for people to develop a problem.
Even at the center, it can be hard to tell just how many people are really struggling. Cruz says only a small percentage of people who develop a problem actually reach out for help.
I think there's a shame and a stigma associated with it. I think that people that have a problem are afraid to admit it. Maybe because of, the finances that are tied to it. They're afraid it might impact their career, their ability to get a job.
Part of the problem, gambling is an addiction that looks unlike any other. There is no tell. It's insidious.
It's very much like substance use addiction, similar to alcohol and drugs, but it's also very different. There's no saturation point. Somebody can only sit at a bar and ingest so much alcohol or ingest so much of a chemical or substance before they pass out or have a physical, reaction to it. With gambling, you can, with the click of a mouse, lose millions, lose your entire life savings.
And being a hidden addiction is just so scary. Cruz says those reaching out to the helpline in their greatest moment of need aren't the only ones needing help.
While we've had this huge increase in contacts to the helpline and, expansion of gambling in the state of Florida, there have not been, equitable resources allocated for this issue.
They currently have no funding from the state, and I'm going to get into more of that tomorrow. Also, they have a small staff, an inadequate number of people working for them. Again, that is tomorrow. And if you or someone you know is struggling with a gambling addiction, the Florida Council on Compulsive Gambling is here to help. Call the number on your screen. That is 1-888-ADMIT-IT. That's 888-236-4848. It is so scary. It's become normalized. And again, that's why I wanted to have full disclosure here. I use the app, and it just got me thinking how many others. And you see the numbers there, and when you look at the demographics and you look at the number of younger kids.
Younger and younger.
I say kids, but we're talking 21 and up, college-age students. According to a recent NCAA survey, 60% of men on college campuses have placed a bet in some sort of fashion.
This is very alarming.
60.
I'll admit my family uses the app, and I have young boys who are asking my husband and I to place bets on games.
It starts earlier and earlier. I mean, we're talking fantasy football where they become accustomed to that thing.
It seems benign and fun, and as you know,
it's like a game you play on your phone.
Absolutely.
And the problem is you always have it in your hand because it's on your phone.
And it takes 2 seconds to place a bet.
And like one of you, someone you interviewed earlier, it makes you more interested in the game. That's why my husband's asked me, who do you got in this game?
That's why I do it too.
Otherwise I'm not paying attention to the game.
It's why I do it too. And for the most part, it is a recreational, it's a fun activity.
Yes.
It is supposed to do that. It's supposed to keep you more engaged. Problem is when you do have somebody with an addictive personality, that's when it becomes a problem because you just chase those bets, you chase your losses,
the next
and then
time
you spiral.
it'll be it. The next time it'll be it.
Exactly.
And it's financially ruining a lot of people.
A high suicidality as well.
Wow.
And you can check out my full investigation right now by going to clickorlando.com.
Very great information. All right, thank you, Justin.
Got it.